What's up, guys? Westgate with Intentional Fitness. Today we're building our legs without using a squat bar. The main reason that I even created this video is because for me personally, I tore my groin back in 2015, and since then squatting has just never felt the same. So I've had to develop other ways in order to build my legs. Now, obviously, the squat is the end-all be-all. You want to put on mass? Squat. Period. End of discussion. For all lifts. But beyond that, we're going to get into it and get after it. So first up, we have leg extension here. Leaning forward, 4 sets of 20. The reason we're leaning forward is so that our hamstring is pre-stretched and we can't actually use that medial head or that outer head to squeeze it up as much. So we're really targeting that upper quad more. And then here we're just taking a deep breath, kind of gathering ourselves, preparing ourselves for this next set because we are going straight back into it with the standard leg extension, leaning back, pumping it up. We're not just pushing our legs. Let me make that really clear. We're flexing the weight up. We're not just pushing it. A lot of people have a bad habit of just pushing with your shin, and that's actually not going to get a whole lot of quad activation. It's going to really take away from the mind-muscle connection, which is really what you have to strive for when you're not squatting. And then we have this superset into the sissy squats. Now here it's 4 sets of 15. You can't see it from this angle, but I'm actually staying leaning back. I like to keep that tension on my quads the whole time. It's exactly the same as the leg extension, except now you're using your body weight. It's basically a body weight leg extension. You're not using your glutes and hamstrings to stand up here. We're trying to isolate that quad as much as possible. Points of emphasis here, like I said, make sure we're extending that leg. We're not just standing up. Next up, we have our Bulgarian split squats. Here I set up a little differently than I normally do. Normally I'd have my foot out a little bit further, so I'm getting more of that glute activation. Because here this is a superset in with the barbell hip thrust. So really I'm trying to focus on growing my glutes here. However, I still felt it a lot in my glute. It was just more quad dominant than I would have liked. Points of emphasis here. Guys, if you struggle with balance, find a spot on the ground in front of you and just keep eye contact with it. Just control your breathing, tight core, steady upper body, shoulders back, chest up, all of that good stuff. But keeping your eyes spotted really helps. Next up, we have our barbell hip thrusts. I like to get into a really big hyperextension if I can. Here we're more going just for reps and weight, so I'm just kind of moving it. But typically, I'd rather have like an iso hold at the top or like really get that stretch factor in by either elevating my feet or by overextending at the top. But here I'm just doing the standard barbell hip thrusts. And so next up we have our heel elevated RDLs. Now I've got my heels elevated here because I feel just a little bit better stretch in my hamstrings there. I'm also having my toes pigeon toed out. Main reason for this is just to get a little bit of the glute activated in there as well. But beyond that, you're really trying to dip your butt back. Honestly, guys, think like an Instagram model that's trying to show off her butt. Just stick your butt back and lean back. Your toes are almost coming up off the ground. Like, you're trying to stick that thing out there as much as you can. Let everybody see it. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thought process here. Next up, we have our single leg hamstring curls. Now, on this machine, I like to have my hips pressed forward. If you're not on a single leg machine like this, and you're stuck with a prone one, like kind of like over to the left here of the video. If you're stuck to that prone one, then what you can do is you can lock those hips in the same way and press those hips in. What that does is that takes our glutes out of the movement and puts it all onto our hamstring instead. Because your glutes, whenever your butt raises up a little bit, your butt and your lower back will actually really get involved on a hamstring curl. If you feel a lot of pain in your lower back or you have sciatic pain after a leg day, a lot of the times it's not because you're squatting, it's because of what you're doing whenever you're doing a leg curl. Points of emphasis here, you're just trying to squeeze that hamstring up. It's basically a bicep, but for your leg. Moving forward, we have a pigeon-toed goblet squat. Some people refer to these as sissy squats. I've always referred to the sissy squat machine as a sissy squat, so I'm just going to call it a goblet squat. Really here, it's more of a front squat than anything. You're keeping your elbows forward, chest up, all the weights in front of you, and then you're just trying to squeeze the quads on the way up. Next up, we have our single leg press. Now, this is going to be our last movement that we're doing. So, really, we're trying to just absolutely destroy ourselves here. Sets of 8, we're going as heavy as we can. It's single leg. I'm not quite as strong in this department, to be honest with you. But I do like the stretch, and it's really great for your hamstrings. Not so much glute activation. It can be really good for your quads if you push through your toes, but I'm a big heel pusher. But there is a little surprise here because, oh wait, it's a superset. We're going to go straight into a almost sumo leg press here, keeping those knees wide, not letting them come in too much, and you're doing as many reps as you can. If they are partial reps, it's reps. That's kind of how you want to look at it. And that's how you build a leg program without programming squats. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, comment down below what you want next. Have a great day, guys.